Hey guys, what's up? So today we are going to be taking on the Phosani's Nightmare, right? So this is a solo only version of the Nightmare. Um, it's designed to be harder, but once you get it down, it actually becomes maybe not easier, but definitely better to kill. Because it doesn't do chip damage, right? You don't gotta waste those Blood Fury charges. You're not gonna really be wasting as many supplies as you do during the normal Nightmare. And they recently buffed its drop rates, so now it's actually pretty decent to kill for money. It's great, and it's a pretty fun boss. It's really fun, really engaging, and let's talk about it really quick. So the gear I bring is again it's Max Crush. You want to bring your best crush gear. So that could be Bandos, that could be Torb, I suppose, but Inquisitor and the Mace is definitely like best in slot. Maybe the Scythe is better, but the method I use with the Mace, it makes all the minions, all the ads, pretty no-brainer. And you can still get, I think I average about somewhere between 8 and 9 minute kills, so it's not that long of a fight, but compared to the regular Nightmare, I mean, it's only half as long. So it's great. This is the gear I bring. Max Inquisitor with a mace and an Infernal Cape. And I have a 6-way mage swap. If you're going for speeds, you can bring, a Shadow and a 7-way mage swap, but this specific 6-way mage swap is actually really nice because if I use my Elder Maul during the mage phase, if a parasite is up, I can actually be in max mage, or I suppose this mage setup, and just do a one-way switch to my Elder Maul and still one-shot the parasite, which is really nice. Not only is there an achievement for that, but it stops it from healing, you're not wasting ticks, so it's really nice. You're going to want 3 weapons. You're going to want a special attack weapon, right? A blowpipe is for the Sleepwalkers. You're going to be dealing with a lot more Sleepwalkers during Phosani's than you do during the regular. And you want something that can one-shot the parasites. So I know the Elder Maul works. I'm pretty sure a God Sword works too, but I don't know how nice it is with this setup. It might be the same. But I use an Elder Maul. Then definitely a Divine. You'll want a Divine Super Combat Potion so you guarantee that you are one-shotting those parasites when they spawn, and a heart if you have it. The heart isn't as necessary, but the divine is really necessary. Otherwise, bring some Sanfu Serum. I usually bring all these restores so I can do 2 or 3 kill trips. Makes it nice without having to bank. And I like the Angler Fish just for specifically the very first kill of the trip, because I can eat it kind of like an overbrew, and it opens up that one inventory slot so I can quickly switch to my Elder Maul or my blowpipe without needing to drop an item. But yeah, let's jump into it. Let's go kill Phosani. So the difference between Phosani and the regular Nightmare specifically is there's 5 phases, and she can use every special attack at any time. So we'll hurry up, we'll pot up, might as well heart too. And we will start with the double Void Waker special hit. And then we just take her down on Crush like normal, right? But we gotta be wary for any potential special attack. So anyone could come at any time, and we're gonna be wary about it. So here's the Parasite. And if I just click the little pink heart up here when it goes pink, it'll automatically drink one of my Sanfu Serums. And in this setup, with Piety on and Super Combat Dose, I will one-shot that Parasite. Boom. It will always go down in one hit with this setup as long as you're potted up. So you can see she dies a lot quicker, but there are 5 phases. And one of the big differences now when she does this move where you got to go to that quadrant, she's going to do a lot of black portals. So here they come. And I always try to hover over a spot that was just safe to go to, right? Because this takes a little practice to get used to how those black portals work during the Phosani's Nightmare. It's always going to be like, what is that, 5 or 6 in a row? But she will do that every time during the quadrant attack and every time during the mushrooms now. So you'll be having black portals that you got to deal with during mushrooms, during both of those special attacks. But otherwise, everything has less health. It's pretty nice. The pillars die faster. Phosani, the nightmare, dies faster. And the first 3 phases are basically just mirror images of each other. They're the exact same thing. But the 4th phase will get a little bit different, and we'll talk about it when we get there. So here, check this out. I can just put that Elder Maul on, and it'll one-shot that Parasite as well. And now she spawns Sleepwalkers, and she spawns 1 new Sleepwalker per phase. So in the beginning, it's just 1 Sleepwalker, but it's going to become 3 and 4 as the phases go on. And we got to be not tick perfect, but pretty on tick. Otherwise, one of them's going to hit her, especially in that 4th phase. But yeah, as you can see, phase 2 is the exact same thing as phase 1, so we just got to do exactly what we just did again. There's those mushrooms, so we are going to get a lot of black portals on this phase. But see, we can even sneak in a hit between every portal if we want, and I try to always hover over a space that was open. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed to work, but it makes those portals a lot easier if you're constantly hovering over a space that was available just a second ago. Now, I know some guides suggest using like the ham joint to kill the husks, but I just use, I just use whatever my main melee weapon is. It's not that big of a time loss. Like I said, this is still somewhere between an 8 and a 9 minute kill. So it's not, you don't save that much time with it. If you're going for speed runs, you might want to do it. Oops. Wasn't watching my prayer. And that actually brings up a good point, is that I do like to bring the Sang. Not the Blood Fury this time, but I do like to bring the Sang in case I mess up, or in case I just need a little bit of that extra healing for some reason. But yeah, the Sang is nice, even in Phosani's, for that little bit of extra healing. It just covers for mistakes, especially if you messed up a prayer like I did, or if you accidentally let your prayer drop like I just did. But see, look, that Sang got me all the way top back off, and I didn't even need to, eat an extra potion or anything. Brew down. And there we go, and this time we're going to get 2 Sleepwalkers. Oops, I didn't need to put that prayer on. You will always one-shot the Sleepwalkers. They only have 1 health. And again, phase 3 will be the exact same thing, and things start to change during phase 4 and 5. Phase 4 is definitely a little bit different, and phase 5 is a straight up Enrage Phase. So my potions, my heart, are about to wear out, so I will top that back off. That'll be the last time I need to drink a super combat potion through the fight. Those 2 doses should last the entire fight. Maybe if you're in slightly less gear, you might need an extra dose of super combat potion, but it's okay. And here's another Parasite. And we're in the Mage phase. So these phases go a lot quicker than the normal Nightmare. And it's already down. See, so we can one-shot that Parasite in our max mage gear as long as we have our Piety on and we are super combated up, which is why the Divine is so nice. Because then we don't need to worry about accidentally being like 117 or 116. We'll always be at that 118 and guarantee our one-shots on those Parasites. That's like the biggest advantage of making sure that you're always Divined up in this fight. Get out of the way for that. Right, because she can use any special attack at any time, so we have to always be wary of what could potentially be coming. And if you don't know about all of her special attacks so far, I do have a regular Nightmare video. I'll link it in the description, so you can get used to, her basic attacks and how her special attacks work and everything. But we're about to be going into phase 4, and that's where things get a little bit different, because she will be turning our prayer off between hits. So we're going to have to actually be doing prayer flicking. And there's 3 Sleepwalkers, like I said. Now we'll take down that parasite really quick, and we're on to phase 4. So let's drop one Void Waker hit. Kind of been forgetting about it. I get a little distracted when I'm talking, but you can see, she just turned my prayer off. So what you really want to do during phase 4 is just prayer flick. I'll turn my own prayer off. There's even an achievement for turning your own prayer off and never letting her do it for you. But see, I always hover over an old empty space. If available. There's not always going to be one available. Now we're waiting for those hits, right? We got a prayer flick in phase 4 because she will turn our prayers off. See, she'll probably turn our prayer off right now. Nope, she used a melee. Get out of the way for her special attack. Right, and we can use sound cues as well. Oops, see, she turned our prayer off right there. So if we know the sound she makes for her basic attacks, you know, we don't necessarily have to be watching her. It's one of my favorite things about the Nightmare, is that her sound cues are so easy to, you know, predict, or pay attention to. Oops. So yeah, don't run through her like I just did. Sketchy. But we'll brew up for that because of that. And maybe our Sang even helps us out a little bit, which would be nice. Otherwise, we'll probably just brew up for that final phase, because it is an Enrage phase, and if we go a little bit slow, we're going to want that extra health. So here we go. Get ready for these Sleepwalkers. Oops, did I leave a portal? Or a pillar? Looks like I did. Left it alive with 1 HP. So this is the Sleepwalker phase you gotta be pretty quick on. Hit them right away. As soon as we see that XP drop, we move on to the next one, right? But we can hit them all with the blowpipe, as we just saw. And for this final phase, you just want to throw your heart on, throw your redemption on, and blast her with special attacks. I should have had 2. But if we have the mace, we can just take her down anyway. The heart, the redemption prayer, is just in case, you know, those Sleepwalkers will do 15 damage if they hit her. So it's kind of a race against the clock, but it's not horrible. And that's it. She's down, boys. Let's see if we get anything good. Not a bad drop. Not a bad drop. So that Crush Hour, that's just, if you can one-shot every husk and one-shot every parasite, you're guaranteed to get that Crush Hour combat achievement as well. And like I said, it's a 9-minute kill. Usually I'm between 8 and 9 minutes, but I'm focused a little harder when I'm not talking and making a video. So I hope you guys learned, you know, you got to see what's different with the Nightmare. Those black pools are definitely a little bit different. It's nice that you're guaranteed to one-shot the parasite. So in a way, the parasite's actually a little easier in Phosani's than it is during the regular Nightmare, because you're not guaranteed to one-shot it during the regular Nightmare. But you need the right setup, right? You need that one-shot crush weapon, so that could be an Elder Maul or maybe a God Sword. The Sleepwalkers are a little bit different, so they get more and more. And you can hit them all with the blowpipe, right? You don't need to go by the crossbow. You don't need to go by the web weaver. You can hit them all with the blowpipe. You just have to be pretty on tick. It's not even tick perfect. I think you have like 1 tick of leeway. So it's not even tick perfect. Even in that 4th phase when there's 4 Sleepwalkers, 1 in each corner. And the Enrage phase is, like you just saw, if I had 2 Void Waker hits, she probably would have died in like literally 3 or 4 melee hits. But I only had 1. But that's okay, because then you get to actually see what happens if that Enrage phase drags on, what happens if Sleepwalkers start hitting the Nightmare. And they do like 15 damage at a time, which is why we have that redemption on. But you can see, even with mistakes, right? I took that melee hit when I ran through her. I barely used any supplies. So you save a lot of money on supplies if you just do Phosani's Nightmare instead of the regular Nightmare, which is cool. And the kills are only half as long. This was honestly a pretty slow kill. 9 minutes is it's an average kill, you know, especially depending on your gear and when you're learning. But 9 minutes is a pretty average kill. Somewhere between 8 and 9 is what I usually get. But yeah, I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you give Phosani's a try. Good luck on getting that Inquisitor. Good luck on getting those orb drops. See you guys.